me tell you about a friend. It's Craig LeBlanc where the good times never end. Talking Parks and Rec, it's a show you gotta know. Welcome one and all to the Daily Parks and Rec Show. It's the Daily Parks and Rec Show.
First thing I say is you may know what you want to do. Be open to new opportunities because the biggest thing is going into my life, I guess, after high school, knowing that I wanted to do filming. Parks and Rec was something that I grew up on just because my mom was in Cobb and I was just interested and kind of partly was in the summer camps and all that and didn't know that those two worlds can collide.
Welcome back to the Daily Parks and Rec Show, live from the 2025 GRPA Conference. Today we're sitting down with Nick Wilson from Cobb County Parks and Recreation, one of the creative minds bringing storytelling, videography, and digital engagement to the forefront of Parks and Rec. From capturing community moments to shaping the future of media in our field, Nick shares how content creation is redefining how departments connect with the public. It's a conversation about creativity, career paths, and the evolving world of parks and recreation. Let's dive in.
All right, we are live with the Daily Parks and Rec Show, live from GRPA here in Jekyll Island, and I've got Nick Wilson from Cobb County, a fellow, let's see, what would you call you, media content, or?
I guess so.
What do you do for Cobb County? Maybe give it.
Originally I do the programming at the Cobb County Civic Center. I typically handle the contracting and rentals through that facility. And then anything on the park side that they need me for, I try to get into the social media, videography, photography, whatever.
Yeah.
More specialized in the videography aspect. Try to stay in that space.
Yeah. Now, how did you get into videography and stuff? Is that something you just, dabbled with as a young person, or?
I would say maybe my mom, she always had a camcorder, and definitely was something I picked up on. It was cool to be able to see yourself make things.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I started, kind of want to eventually get into like advertising. And so doing things that I saw, I was mimicking Geico commercials, and things like that, and just being like, the old Geico commercials, can Geico see you good? Or whatever. And I would just do that, and then YouTube rolled around, and I'm like, okay, I can post this and keep it somewhere. But I like creating. I just like creating things and making my own little stories.
Right. Yeah, because it's now, where would you say Parks and Rec is as far as content or media, social media? Because I know, government's not typically the first adopter on a lot of technologies, but it seems like they're starting to get a little bit better as to managing, Facebook pages. What are kind of the platforms that y'all use at Cobb County?
Typically it's Facebook. Facebook is our probably general audience, probably has our most interactions on. I think just a lot of those people have been raised off of Facebook and on there. We're trying to tackle more into the Instagram side, just trying to develop that and get into that algorithm. But mainly Facebook is our go-to just because it's a little easier to post the flyers, post the videos, and most people will get most audience. Yeah.
And that's how y'all get the word out for special events, stuff like that.
Yes.
Now, what type of video do y'all kind of lean into? Do y'all just kind of go to a special event, take some shots, and try to make it from there? Or
typically, it's just reels. So if we can do more reels, get into that kind of algorithm, because Instagram loves when you post reels more than making the flyer and posting it that way.
Right.
So we definitely try to do that and just making sure I got the right aspect ratio. I'm so used to just shooting 16:9, and now I have to think, turn that camera around,
turn it sideways, right?
Yeah. But yeah, we try to dabble in more things. At some point we'll get more of a YouTube channel, but again, that thing, like you said, Parks and Rec is very hard to identify what people would care to see. And I think that is something that I like to, learn and try to adapt to.
Yeah, and I had some content creators inside of Parks and Rec saying, the more you can do of having people feel like they were there at the event, the better.
Yes, definitely. People love to see themselves, and that's great, and we really want to capture the moment, capture how people feel, capture how people may feel when they're in that environment. And it's nice to be able to answer the question, how was that event? How was that program? And they get to see a visual of how other people was in it, and then those people are taking it, showing it around as well.
Now, I have we made a little commercial for the Parks and Rec industry for young professionals that don't know what they're going to do with the rest of their life. And this is a little 2-minute of why they should consider Parks and Rec as a career path. And then I'd love to get your take on that, and maybe even a little testimony about why young college kids maybe want to consider Parks and Rec as a place that they want to spend the rest of their life. That's good. Play this and we'll come right back.
Every career is a choice, but few careers let you touch lives. Not once in a while, but every single day. Step into a park on a Saturday morning. You'll hear children laughing on the soccer field, families gathering for a picnic, seniors walking the trails, finding health and friendship. And behind every smile, every memory, is a Parks and Rec professional. We don't just mow fields, we grow confidence in young athletes. We don't just build playgrounds, we create safe spaces where childhood thrives. We don't just plan events, we design moments that anchor generations. Think of the coach who teaches patience, the director who champions equity, the staff member who sees potential in a child no one else believed in. Every day, Parks and Rec professionals shape character, preserve beauty, and strengthen community. And the path isn't easy. Budgets are tight, resources stretched thin, but the reward, unmatched. Because what you give comes back in legacy, in healthier communities, in lives forever changed. So why dedicate your life to Parks and Recreation? Because here, your work never ends. It lives on, in laughter echoing across playgrounds, in green spaces preserved for the next century, in the young professionals rising to lead tomorrow. This is not just a career, it's a calling, it's a legacy, it's Parks and Recreation. A message from the Parks and Rec community.
All right, so Nick, imagine you're sitting in front of a college classroom of undecided kids, don't know what they want to do with the rest of their life. What's your testimony to why they want to consider working in Parks and Rec?
First thing I say is you may know what you want to do, but also be open to new opportunities. Because biggest thing is going into my life, I guess, after high school, knowing that I wanted to do filming. Didn't know in what way. Parks and Rec was something that I grew up on just because my mom was in Cobb and I was just interested and kind of partly was in the summer camps and all that, and didn't know that those two worlds can collide. But it's mainly like what I even tell my staff: keep your options open and realize that it's not as simple as you working on big budget films or even just being a PA. You can do the same kind of impact and same kind of work within Parks and Rec and show the community, or even tell that story of community in the video format. And I learned a lot just being in parks, just because, again, this was me growing up, and it was kind of me feeling like I'm actually documenting or doing like a documentary of Parks and Rec, and being able to show there's more to just a park. It's more than just a monument or whatever.
Yeah, and that there's so many more jobs in Parks and Rec that you might not even think of Parks and Rec, but like say media, broadcast journalism, or managing a Facebook page. You wouldn't think that Parks and Rec departments need that, but they need accountants. They need not just park professionals like coaches and programmers, but there's maybe speak to all the other different skill sets that a Parks and Rec department needs.
Right. And if they don't think that they need it now, they will
Yeah.
the society will show you that you will definitely need social media presence, especially in
Yeah.
Parks and Rec.
Now, how long have you been in Parks and Rec, Dr. Kenneth?
10 years now.
Mm.
I think it will be either 11 in April or yeah, so about 10 years.
And Cobb County, that is that pretty much one of the bigger counties in the state of Georgia? Isn't that kind of the Atlanta metro area?
Yeah, typically. Yeah, we do stretch in places that I barely even go to.
Right.
But yeah, we're pretty big, pretty massive, and different demographics, different audience, more community to cater to.
Yeah. Now, how often have you been to the GRPA annual event?
This is my first time.
Ah, it's your first time.
Yeah,
So what are your thoughts?
So far I like it. I love, again, just same message, is just being like that opportunity and just seeing what's out there and then trying out things that didn't seem like this is something I would do. But I definitely am learning a lot, and always be willing to learn, no matter how old you get, no matter how much you feel like you know, just keep learning.
All right, so I'll give you some of the advice that's been given to me every time I attend one of these, especially back when I was a vendor a long time ago, which now I just do media for Parks and Rec.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very tempting to hang out with the people you came with.
Right.
But just forget them.
Yeah.
You'll see them back home.
Yeah.
Make sure you're eating lunch and breakfast and dinner and hanging out with all these new people, because there's so much wisdom out there, and
Yes.
maybe even try to find some people that are doing similar stuff that you're doing, and then you leave with this robust network, and this becomes kind of like a family reunion every year for you.
Right.
You get to see everybody.
Yeah, I just got out of a session that kind of hit on that, just being like, be yourself.
Yeah.
And expand your horizons, and just obviously, if you're not a social bug, it's not going to just come out within a day.
Yeah, right.
But it just come in at least feeling like it's okay to get away from the pack and talk to other people, because you will learn a lot.
Yeah. Now, what classes are you kind of piqued your attention as far as what you want to attend?
It's definitely ones that I don't normally think about, like the financial ones, maintenance, just with the lawns and yards and stuff like that, because stuff like that matters with the special events facility. And I just, once again, just trying to find things to have more perspective. I always seek more perspective.
Yeah. So now, where do you see yourself as far as in Parks and Rec in the next 5 or 10 years?
For 10 years, I could definitely see myself in a manager position.
Fantastic.
If the opportunity comes my way, or getting more into the communications side of our unit. We have one. I'm not necessarily part of it, but I do assist. But just being able to build that out and show that there's value in communications in the park.
Yeah. Now, where do you see the maybe strong points or even the areas that Parks and Rec needs to do better on when it comes to communication or social media or anything like that?
The biggest thing is allowing new ideas to be okay, and also allowing people that are above you and under you to have the same amount of opinion. I'm not a huge fan of hierarchies, or thinking just because they're in a certain position, they will, I can't have any opinion or have any weight in the conversation. I truly believe that everybody has the same amount of weight, and it makes it feel like we can grow together. People want to participate a lot more when you show that their interest matters.
Yeah. And the thing is, with social media, everything's new. There's nobody's been doing this for 20 years, because a lot of these tools, even like StreamYard that we're using here, or a lot of the functionality on Instagram, it's just opening up real time.
Right.
Where do you think AI participates in Parks and Rec, especially in the content creation side?
It's interesting. I think that it definitely can expand maybe more consistency with communications in parks or to the community, allowing certain things to just be automated, informations, guides, things that we need to constantly put out that we can't always schedule or always, conjure up or what have you. But I think that it will have a good role, especially with being more consistent in communication.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great message. Well, Nick, thank you so much for coming on the podcast today. I hope you have a great first year, and hopefully you'll be back for many more, and have a great rest of your convention.
All right. Thanks for having me,
All
man.
right, man. Take care.
Are you a vendor, brand, or service provider ready to connect with the heartbeat of local communities? At DPRS Media Co., we tell the stories shaping parks and recreation across America. Through podcasts, live streams, videos, and newsletters, we reach frontline leaders, city directors, and decision makers every single week. From youth sports and facilities to programming and policy, our audience is your audience. Sponsoring or partnering with DPRS Media Co. puts your brand in front of the professionals who build, budget, and buy for their communities. Launching a new product, growing your presence in public spaces, targeting cities, counties, or departments, DPRS is your trusted media partner. Whether you're in software, turf, aquatics, robotics, smart cities, or special events, partnering with DPRS puts your brand in the story. With commercials, interviews, social campaigns, newsletters, and live shows, we're your media team. Partner with us and grow your impact in the $200 billion parks and rec industry. DPRS Media Co. Stories that move parks and rec forward. Your audience is here. Let's meet them.